Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback players out of the way, and that I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to set. Watch almost pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to fix it, and our running back coach didn't take the pass. biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9, 12:30 a.m. WTBC. We're live, local, and ready to get things going. Glad that you've chosen to get up and at them with us this beautiful Wednesday morning. It's a wild card Wednesday. Would you rather Wednesday? Oh, some of us would rather have the show be at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or maybe maybe at 6 o'clock at night. But we're up and at them every morning at 6 a.m. And I'm so glad to have such faithful listeners and followers to be a part of the program. And we are rolling this morning. We got a great show lined up for you. So I want to invite you to get in on the conversation. And you can get in on that conversation at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That's the Alabama One hotline. Or you can also join us on the live stream, comment, react, and questions there as well. Got several different questions to ask you this morning. And so it's going to be a little more engaging, I hope, as we move forward. The playbook for today, talking Alabama sports. Final Four a bust. Would love to get your thoughts in terms of the Final Four. Is it Final Four bust for Alabama? We've hinted around it a little bit. Had a question earlier in the week that we had a poll question around that particular thought or comment, and that was whether or not Alabama could get to the Final Four without Mark Sears. So we can talk about it in that sense, or just in general. Here's another question: what's your biggest concerns, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, softball, any other sport, or anything else going on in the Alabama sports world? Hey, you may even have some concerns in terms of SEC, football in general, etc. So what's your biggest concern? You're either the AD at Alabama, you're either the SEC commissioner, or you're over the NCAA as a whole. What's your biggest concern? Here's another interesting one here, X. Complete this statement. Today's complete this statement is: if I was coach, and you get to pick which coach you are, kind of tied in with that. What's your biggest concern? If I was coach, and you put your whatever name it is, I would do what? I would, and then you complete that statement. So that's part of the conversation. And, of course, we'll end things with the Harvest Church Christian Moment of the Week with Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministry. So good morning to Curtis, Jed, Chuck, George. Appreciate you guys being on. I'm sure we'll have others join us here in a moment. Hey, if you're joining on the live stream, if you log in and send a comment, I'll give you a shout out right here on the Martin Houston Show. Remember this: that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Got some new swag, X. I had to get you yours. I got my samples, a few samples in yesterday. You can go to martinhouston.org and click on shop, and it'll take you to the place to get some swag. I got some more things coming that are NIL based. This is just a Martin Houston Show based swag, but we're trying to get there, X, and we'll eventually get there. So definitely lots to get to. Any of those topics jump out at you?
Well, one thing I noticed that you posted yesterday was who, in a short yardage situation, who you want to get the ball, and fullback, running back, and I think Coach Stallings in a way gave the best answer. He said he felt like he could run behind you. So if a coach in their 50s, 60 felt like he could run the ball behind you, I'm pretty sure I'd give it to you in a short yardage situation. And you had a pretty successful conversion rate, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I was blessed. I did not get stopped on a 4th and short. So, and was I think in the 75% range on 3rd and short. I don't know if I ever got stopped on a 3rd and 1, but overall, any 3rd yardage situation. So I had a big conversation with the guy yesterday. X, you'll let this kind of a wild card Wednesday conversation. Me and BJ Stabler, who's over the A Club, we were arguing over who was the best athlete on the field. And of course, he's saying offensive lineman, and I said fullback. And of course, no one ever thinks fullback, right? Because that position doesn't exist as a whole. I said and I told him, I said, that's because every other offensive position except for quarterback is found in a fullback. So they just diffused all of those responsibilities. The fullback, I played H-back, I played wing back, I played running back, I blocked as an offensive lineman, I went out as a wide receiver. So the only thing we didn't do was throw the ball. So I tell him, I said, I blocked the same guys offensive lineman block. I blocked the same guys the wide receivers block. I blocked the inside linebacker, outside linebacker. And I said, and y'all got to hit the guy, and he was only a yard away. He said, well, we had to backpedal to do it. I said, yeah, but y'all were always within a yard. I said, I had to play a guy that weighed 70 pounds more, a defensive lineman that's 300 and something pounds coming off the edge. I had to stop him after he got his momentum. So we were just having fun, though. But anyway, hey, another fun. This was something that I did not have prepped. I just saw it this morning, but I thought it was it'd be a good question, and we can talk about that as well. Let me see. When you look at NIL is driving college basketball and sports as a whole, right? When there is a new tournament coming, X, and I'd like to get your thoughts, listeners. I'd like to get your thoughts. So pay attention to this. It's an NIL-driven Las Vegas tournament players era festival. Going to be 8 teams play in it. 7 of those teams are already on board, and this is going to happen in November of 2024. Alabama, Houston, Notre Dame, Oregon, Rutgers, San Diego State, and Texas A&M are all on board, according to sources. And you can see this article at cbssports.com. Dennis Dodd wrote it. When you hear that, X, here's kind of the benefit, and see if you think it's good or bad for the college sports world. They will the teams who participate will get $1 million. Okay, $1 million to participate, and supposedly The winner of the tournament is going to get paid. They didn't say how much, but the winner gets even more. So, NIL world, early season tournament. Remember, someone else did an early season tournament and probably had more eyes watching basketball at that part of the year than they ever have, and that was the NBA in their in-season tournament. What are your thoughts on this NIL-based tournament, good or bad for college basketball?
So the winner gets a certain payout. Is that what it is?
Everybody that participates. Here's what it says. In a college sports first, the event will also include $1 million NIL payouts for the 8 participating schools. The players who are involved will have future earning opportunities through long-term NIL contracts, according to the source that spoke with Dennis Dodd and team. Okay? The winner of the tournament is rumored to get paid even more.
So I think it's pretty cool. So the idea is that they'll all get a percentage of the $1 million, and then there's NIL contracts.
No. Each team gets paid $1 million.
Oh, each team gets paid $1 million. Okay. And then there's potential NIL contracts from there.
It's the team gets $1 million. The winning team gets, they didn't disclose how much, and the players who are participating get opportunities because they were talking about some of the brands and stuff that were there. We'll have.
Okay. Now, I like that. That's a pretty unique venture. I mean, you go there, you show out, you got a chance to make a name for yourself, not only on the basketball court, but through deals, and get to grow your name and brand.
Yeah, just think about what it gives Nate Oates. Nate Oates, if what they're reporting is correct, Nate Oates is going to get $1 million in his kitty. If he makes the same money he did last year, that means that he has $1 million above and beyond just to put toward the thing. But think about from a basketball standpoint, when do you typically start watching basketball, honestly?
January.
Right. This tournament is going to have these 8. Well, they don't know the 8th team yet. And they're saying this is not a one-year thing. They plan to double it next year. Let's say those 7 teams come back. Listen to the other teams that have already said that they're going to probably, or they're interested in playing in 2025. Maybe their schedules didn't allow it this year. Duke, Gonzaga, Kansas, Michigan, Syracuse, and Virginia.
A lot of blue bloods.
Let that sink in. Yeah, let that sink in that if this year they had all those teams, Alabama, Houston, contenders, Notre Dame, Oregon, good basketball team, Rutgers, good basketball team, maybe not as good this year. Hey, you know that they're going to have Alabama and Rutgers play each other like in the opening round, right? San Diego State, Texas A&M, Duke, Gonzaga, Kansas, Michigan, Syracuse, and Virginia are just some of the names they're talking about. We need to get the break here, but I love the thought of this tournament because of what it does for college basketball if there was no NIL money. Just let that sink in for a second. I'll talk a little bit more about it on the other side. Don't forget we have the other questions, and if you have a question, it's a Wild Card Wednesday. John Hallback put a tough one on us there. Ranked top 5 SEC basketball teams over the next 5 years. Several other questions coming in. We'll get to those as well. We'll be back on the other side right here on your home for Alabama Sports Talk 100.9, 1230 a.m. WTBC. This is the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. We're underway for this Wednesday morning drive, free and clear of any big accidents or breakdowns. We aren't seeing anything major holding up traffic on 2059 from Foster's out to Cottondale. The drive along McFarland, Lurling, Wallace, and 69 up from Hale County all remain in good shape at this very early hour. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is sponsored by Tire Rack.
Townsend Nissan. How do you stay number one in West Alabama? You do whatever it takes to make you happy. Townsend Nissan. Number one for a reason on Skyland Boulevard.
Nearly 3,000 teen drivers die in car crashes each year. Tire Rack Street Survival is designed to save lives. The one-day hands-on driving school gives teens experience in car control through exercises that include emergency braking and skid recovery. Find a class near you at TireRack.com/survive.
365, 24/7. You'll find road and utility crews, tow truck, law enforcement, and first responders working along Alabama's roadway.
We're making improvements and helping our communities stay connected.
We're working hard to make sure you're safe on the road. Now we need your help to make sure we're safe too.
Alabama's move over law requires you to move over a lane when you see flashing lights on the roadside. And if you can't safely move over, please slow down.
Visit DriveSafeAlabama.org. Brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation, Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Hey guys. You're guaranteed to make mom smile this Mother's Day with one call to Stephanie's Flowers. They have roses, all kinds of floral arrangements, and fresh cut flowers, stuffed animals, and balloons. They make it easy. Call 345-3074. Tell them what you're looking for, and they'll deliver it for you. You can also pick it up at Stephanie's Flowers at 514 Hargrove Road East in Tuscaloosa. Make her smile on Mother's Day with one call to Stephanie's Flowers, 345-3074.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. Three things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511. Morning Kick.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Very warm, very humid today. Partly sunny, a chance of widely scattered storms this afternoon and tonight. The high today 90, tonight's low 69. Tomorrow, showers and strong storms mainly during the morning hours. The high at 87. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 73 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Oh, good morning. Welcome back in. I want to remind you to go check out Billy's Cooking Restaurant, Billy's Cooking LLC. You can find them on Facebook at Billy's Cooking LLC. Wing Wednesday, 50-cent wings today. So many different flavors. You can make your choice. You can call them at 205-632-8617, or you can order via DoorDash, or just drop by, located in front of the old Holt High School. That's Billy's Cooking Restaurant, Billy's Cooking LLC. Justin, did you hear any of that about this NIL-driven Las Vegas Players Era Festival? It's going to have lots of other things, including live events, live music. It'll all be happening around the Thanksgiving Day tournament during Thanksgiving week. It seems like whoever came up with this brainchild, man, they got some excitement going. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think excitement's a good way to describe it. I want to say it's one of the best ways we've seen NIL utilized. I think we're going to see this a lot more with possibly like several other tournaments, matchups, or games being basically funded or encouraging teams to participate in them because of the NIL. I think we might see something like this with the bowl games potentially coming up.
Yeah. Yep.
I just
Yep.
know that I might need to find a way to plan a vacation to get to Las Vegas during that time.
Here's the part that I did not share, X and Justin and listening audience. The remember, players can't get paid for play, right? But this money supposedly is going, and I just say speculation and all that because until it's settled, things can change. As of this point, the $1 million would be given to the collective, and then the collective disperses that to the players. But because of the quid pro quo agreement for NIL money being a part of, you cannot get paid just to play. There will be activities and things that the players have to participate, off the court activities that they'll have to do in order to earn the money. So this is not just a show up and play a basketball tournament. This will be, I guess, an all-star week type of event. Does that make it even more exciting for fans because they're going to get a chance to see players up close, personal, off the court, etc. And I mean, I haven't found anything yet that I don't like about it, X.
I mean, I think this is a really cool thing, especially if they turn it into that All-Star Weekend type of event. I mean, there's so many things that you can do around this, and of course, I love them finding the loophole to be able to pay for play the players through the collective, because I mean that's exactly what it is. But hey, as long as they can maneuver around that aspect of it. But I mean, the cool thing that I saw that Coach Oates and Coach DeBoer with Jalen and Malachi and a couple former Alabama players, Jake Coker and Ryan Anderson, did this weekend was at the Mullet Talls. It just things like that get these guys more exposure, more opportunities. You can't get mad at it because this is something that college athletes should have had access to for a long time with everything that they give to the game and give to the sport at this level, because they're not guaranteed to make the next step.
Yeah, it's some of the coaches have some very interesting comments. There are some skeptics of it, and they're talking about the sustainability of it and things like that. I think this thing will have a March Madness type feel to it to kick the season off. The NBA did it, and people don't even – there's a lot of folks that don't even watch NBA to playoffs. They watch the tournament. I think you'll get that type of crazy love. I think the broadcasting rights to it is going to be crazy. One coach – I can't use all of his words. He said there's not a – they didn't name the coach. There's not a decision we make that's not NIL driven. I'll play in the parking lot of Mandela Bay just to clear the check. And he used some colorful language there. But one guy said, I would play on Nick Jr. I'd play on YouTube. It doesn't matter. All the other stuff passed through our compliance smell test all the way through. We have not run up against a roadblock. That is a definitive no. So, he said, as long as they get it compliant, our administration is full go. You'd be stupid not to do this if you were invited. So, I mean, it's just it seems to be like a no-brainer to me if they can pull it off and execute. Execution is key. But I love the thought. It's a way for the school to not have to come up with additional money. But if you're a top program, just think about the power of $1 million to Alabama to pay their players, to give their players a blessing. These guys will be away from their families on Thanksgiving. And it'll be the week of Thanksgiving with Thanksgiving Day off is what is planned right now. I'll be watching. So, all right. Virgil Williams asked a question. I guess, Virgil, I would ask you if I put you into this question. If you were Coach Murphy, you would do what? Virgil Williams asking the question X, what's our opinion of softball this year? In his opinion, this is the worst team ever fielded by Bama. Offensively, we're anemic. This is Virgil speaking. Base running was atrocious at times, never aggressive. They look totally lost on defense. And as for our coach, Murph looks like he is tuned out and has zero drive and oblivious to just how bad this team is. So, what are your thoughts on softball? X, you there? All right. Not sure if we're missing X.
We may have lost him there. I think we're having some Wi-Fi issues here at the studio. If you don't mind, though, I think softball, it just comes down to they got to hit the ball, Martin. They're not good at scoring, even when the pitchers have had pretty good seasons and pretty good games. I mean, you go look at the Tennessee series, and Tennessee's one of the top teams in the nation, and we win a game by 1 point.
We won 1-0, and I think we lost 3-1, right?
That's right. Yeah. And so
in Tennessee, as you said, it was a juggernaut.
Exactly. Our pitchers are doing pretty good, but our offense is just not there on the other side to help get runs and actually win games.
But that's been a trend, and that's been trending. That's not new, and people have been saying on this show, Justin, for I guess at least 2 to 3 years, we have got to get hitting. We have got to get hitting. We need a hitting coach. To me, softball, and I've said this on this show before, so if you've heard it, excuse me, if you're new to it, this may be your first time hearing it. Softball is in that transition the same way Justin football was. Remember when football went from big Mount Cody's to lean, athletic linemen, linebackers who could play in space versus, Rolando McClain's. To me, softball did the opposite. Softball went from slap hitters and bunting and all that to power hitters that can change a game in a heartbeat. I mean, you think about it for a second, you get 1 or 2 people on base and you throw one of those 75-mile-per-hour fastballs up there and it goes back out the park faster than it got to the plate. And that's what everybody else is doing. I mean, there are teams that have individuals, Justin, that have almost as many home runs as the whole Alabama softball team.
Well, so to answer the question, is it time to look at a change in the regime? I mean, with everything that Coach Murphy has done for Alabama, is it time for fresh blood?
I mean, I'm not calling for Coach Murph's job, but there has to be drastic change or a change. And that's what Virgil Williams said. If I was Coach Murphy, I would retire. Jed Cohen asked the question, is it time for Coach Murphy to step away? You're asking that question. A lot of people are asking that question. And I actually had someone tell me that one of 2 things has happened based on the way. And I think this is what Virgil was insinuating. Murph looks like he is tuned out and has zero drive and is oblivious to just how bad this team is. I think that, this person told me, he said, one of 2 things. Either it's been decided that he's gone or it's been decided that he has 1 more year to get it right. But there's been some conversation. I was also told by someone that, Burns missed several games down the stretch when he had been typically there. So, I would love to see him go out the right way. Hopefully he hadn't stayed too long. Hopefully he can get it turned around. Virgil Williams saying, in my opinion, Murph hasn't been the same since he pulled that little ordeal about he was leaving, going to, I believe, LSU, and then he came back. Murph has not been the same coach. It's been downhill from that point. it's time for a change. So, we can talk more about that if you want. We're going to get the break here. Also, I would throw a couple other questions at you from the playbook standpoint as we keep moving along this morning. I want to remind you that you can, ask your question. We're going to address Jed Cohen's question in our interior offensive lineman from Michigan State, Gino Van DeMark. Sounding like he may come to Bama. What does that mean in terms of Bama if that happens? Also, what's your biggest concern or concerns with football and basketball? Do you have any concerns with football or basketball? We'll have those questions and comments on the other side. Go check out Alabama One, alabama1.org. We got a great promotion going on right now, offering you longer terms. Well, these are standard terms. It's really just us focusing on it. We always have longer terms, and, of course, longer terms equal lower payments. Get it now while the interest rates are high. Hey, and then if you need to refinance at a later date when interest rates come back in line with your budget, do so. But right now you can get that car that you want or that vehicle you want, and you can get that payment into a place where it fits your budget by checking out Alabama One. Drive the one you want and win. You can win free oil changes for a year, includes 4 oil changes, 1 a quarter, or you can get a monthly subscription year-long for car wash. So keep it clean, keep it running smooth. Alabama One, alabama1.org.
Why do so many dogs suffer from weight issues, skin problems, messy poops, and low energy? It could be the popular dog food you put in their bowl each day.
Cody was sleeping a lot, wasn't playing.
She was very lethargic and not moving around. Dry kibble just wasn't cutting it.
That's why, after more than 45 years of experience of helping dogs make complete health turnarounds, veterinarian Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend. It's a freeze-dried raw dog food made with wholesome ingredients like premium meats, seeds, vegetables, and fruit. And once dog parents switch their pups to Nature's Blend, the results can be astounding.
She's got her energy back. She's running around like she did like 5 years ago.
Miraculously, she's just feeling all around better. She's like a new dog. Thank you, Dr. Marty.
Get your dog started today and save up to 54% off Nature's Blend. Plus, receive a free pack of our best-selling beef liver dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
If you have an unsightly crack on the walkway leading up to your house, maybe your front porch or your back patio, take care of it. It's affordable. Our friends at APS will do that for you. Alabama Professional Services, 4th-generation family business. They will come over. They'll do a free inspection. Again, affordable. Get a free estimate from APS. Contact them at alabamaprofessional.com. alabamaprofessional.com. They'll also take care of any problems you got with a damp crawl space or a crack in your foundation. They even do pest control and lawn care. Full service. Alabama Professional Services at alabamaprofessional.com.
If you think Taco Bell is only for late night, you are mistaken. Taco Bell is also for daytime, which is why it's introducing the new Cantina Chicken menu with new Cantina Chicken tacos, burrito, and quesadilla. And new ingredients like seasoned slow-roasted chicken, freshly prepared pico de gallo, shredded purple cabbage, and even a new avocado verde salsa packet. It's the Taco Bell for when it's not late night.
Whoa, not just late night. Try the new Cantina Chicken menu now. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations was applies last. Contact store for participation which varies.
Hey, Jen, I just stopped in to say hello. Oh my gosh, look how busy it is in here. How did you get all these customers?
Yeah, this month has been a record breaker for us. For a long time, we had decent business coming in from word of mouth, but we weren't really growing. Lately, though, a lot of new folks have been finding us online, and that's made all the difference.
That's terrific. I wish I could figure out how to do that for my shop, but I have no idea where to start.
Just do what I did. It's not as hard as you think. Go to mylocalcustomers.com to see exactly how many searches there are here for businesses like yours.
Okay, then what?
If you see that there are a good number of clients searching in our area, you'll also get some suggestions for the best way to get their attention.
Do you think there are a lot of people searching for my business?
There's only one way to find out. Go to mylocalcustomers.com. It's quick, easy, and free.
Go to mylocalcustomers.com for a free local customer analysis that will show you how many Tuscaloosa customers are searching online for your type of business. It's quick, easy, and free. Visit mylocalcustomers.com. That's mylocalcustomers.com.
This report is sponsored by Stand Up to Cancer.
Keep it locked into Tide 100.9 for more of the Martin Martin Houston Show with Martin Houston and X's and O's Sports, Xavier Houston.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. Want to encourage you to go check out the new swag. You can go to the martinhouston.org page and click on shop, and you're able to shop some of the new swag items. It's drop shipping, so you can order right there, various payment options. So support the show by getting some of the new swag. Got some really cool things coming, working with Athletes Thread to develop some NIL based items as well. And we appreciate your support right here on the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. All right. X, I mean, interestingly, a lot of conversation and interest around softball. Got a lot more people, I think, that like softball than we sometimes even anticipate. But to me, some of the questions and concerns I have kind of changed the topic a little bit. Is on the football field, what's your biggest concern with Alabama football? I talked about biggest need. Is that the same thing? Is the biggest need and the biggest concern, is that the same for you?
No. I like what Coach DeBoer has done, and I know people have talked about the transfer portal and things of that nature, but I think people need to actually go back and look at the number of guys that left before Coach Saban retired, the guys that are walk-ons that have entered the portal, and realize that 39 number is not all Coach DeBoer.
Very few of them are Coach
something. Huh?
Very few of them are Coach DeBoer.
Right. Exactly. Like in a lot of the Coach DeBoers are walk-ons who got a year of film, a year of practice, and now they're going to take that and see if they can turn it into something else. I mean, So I don't have a lot of concern, and then I'm liking the pieces that he's brought in through the portal. So I don't really have much of a concern with football. This first year is going to.
We can talk some of this tomorrow with the roster management and recruiting X. But I had this question, and we never talked about it. How many of the transfer portal moves, were more of this making room? To me, the guys who left before the season, before A-Day, don't count against DeBoer. Right. The only guys that I count that are DeBoer guys that have left are the guys who left after spring. Other than Brockemeyer, who left that you think was a starter?
Nobody.
Who do you think left that was going to be in the second rotation?
Maybe Woodyard.
I mean, but that's strictly based off of what? Talent.
Depth concerns.
Depth concerns. And so we've gotten veteran guys, and if the one place that we probably have the most depth and experience, I should say, is where? Safety.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're gonna bring a guy in to replace Woodyard's depth as a safety, or move somebody, isn't that the position you would want him to move, where you have a Malachi Moore who could coach him up and all of that? You see what I'm saying? Like, I agree with you 100% that that's not a concern of mine. I think a lot of these things are making room for additional moves.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And so there's not really much of a concern on the football field for me. I know this year could be a 15-16-0 season and a national championship, but I also don't think this season is worse than 10-2 coming out of the regular season, honestly. Yeah, especially when you look, even the two road games that everybody talks about are Tennessee and LSU. Well, they're replacing quarterbacks and other key pieces. So there's not a huge concern for me there. Basketball wise, the only question I have, man, are we going to get Mark Sears back? Because I think getting Mark Sears back with everybody that Coach Oates has brought in, this is a Final Four bust caliber team. So really not much concern there. And I do believe if Mark doesn't come back, you'll see other guys step up. I think Wrightsell has a bigger season. Grant Nelson has a bigger season. You've got Phylon and Holloway to run the point. There's a lot of moving pieces that are really good for this Alabama basketball team as well.
Yeah, and you take Youngblood steps in for Griffin in terms of percentage-wise. But he and this is playing devil's advocate. Has Nate Oates recruited too well? I mean, you have to understand that there's a lot of juice on this team now, man. And now we have first world problems, right, Justin? Right, X?
Very much so.
In times past, we've had concerns over whether we have a good enough team, a talented enough team to get there. I don't think talent is going to be the issue with this team. Chemistry is going to be the key for this team. And circling back on what we started the conversation off on, X and Justin, how big is that tournament in terms of helping Nate Oates in this basketball team?
Well, I think it's a big, up front and center. Hey, eyes on us opportunity for the basketball team. Now they have to go out there and perform and do well in it, but more eyes on early on.
Yeah. Justin, what are your thoughts there, the impact of that tournament?
Yeah, I think this is like this is what we're watching. We're watching the evolution of Alabama basketball right in front of our eyes. I think this is one of the first steps. You want to be on the cutting edge. You want to be one of the teams that people want in their tournaments, their events. Yep. And I think this is just one of the first cases of that.
Yeah, and couple things. One is, if you go back and watch what Nick Saban did here at Alabama, I think what's his name has done. What Nate Oates has accomplished is as good or better than what Saban did. I know we didn't win a national title, but we had won 12 before Nick Saban ever came here, right? And Nick Saban won his first one in 3 years, but that was with Shula players, and that's the only undefeated team he had until 2010. What's his name got us to a Final Four in his fifth year with all his dudes, right? And so when you look at this, listen to this list, and then I'm gonna ask a question: Alabama, Houston, Notre Dame, Oregon, Rutgers, San Diego State, Texas A&M. Who's the calling card in that tournament?
What did you say again?
Alabama, Houston, Notre Dame, Oregon, Rutgers, San Diego State, and Texas A&M. Who's the calling card in that tournament?
Alabama or Houston?
Yeah, and I would say Alabama because of what? They were
Alabama strictly off of this last season.
They were the hot team coming off the season, and then Nate Oates has turned around and just built on that. That's the crazy part of this conversation, is what he's done this offseason. It's clearly Bama and Houston. Did Rutgers have their invitation before this draft? I mean, before the transfer portal or after? You see what I'm saying? Like you already see a storyline there. Alabama versus Rutgers. Alabama got put out the year before by San Diego State. There's already storylines there. So, but the thing that this tournament does is Nick Saban used to plan what? The game over in Atlanta, Xavier. Why? Because he knew that it drove his team to get better. I don't think that the Alabama basketball team knew what it took early in the year last year. So we played really good, but did we work as hard in the offseason? I would say no. But if you get Grant Nelson back and you have Wrightsell there and you get Sears back, these guys know, hey, guys, we don't want to be close in these games. We want to win these games this year. And I think that's what drove Nick Saban in Alabama football in the offseason. And I think that that's what's going to drive this basketball team. And they will come out ready, more united and with greater chemistry to start the season and win some of those big games versus just being close. Your thoughts before we get out of here?
Definitely think Alabama can use this to propel their season as they move forward to start the year. Because as you said, what you now know what you need to get there. Now you have a goal based off of this past season, and then saying, hey, let's get this season started hot, and you can carry that on as momentum.
Yep, we got a lot of questions. We didn't get to all of them. We'll have some of that on tomorrow. We'll have roster management and recruiting as well. If you have a question or something you'd like for me to address, please don't hesitate to post it, and we'll prepare for it on tomorrow. We didn't get to the inside offensive lineman from Michigan, so we can talk about that as part of roster management and recruiting, as well as some of the other conversations that have been included in chat. Hey, we'll be back on the other side with the Harvest Church Christian Moment of the Week with Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministries.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. The T-Town traffic map looks wide open right now with no big accidents or breakdowns on the board and no major backups either. If you're traveling along McFarland from Coker, passing Lurling Wallace down to U of A and I-20 beyond, you're in good shape there. If you're traveling along 69 up from Hale County and 2059 from Foster's to Cottondale, all are in good shape at this early hour. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, I'm Ray Romero.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Wednesday morning. The Tuscaloosa City Council on a 6-1 vote has authorized Mayor Maddox to work with developer Stan Pate to provide tax abatements for his proposed multi-use Encore project at the old McFarland Mall site. Papers were signed at last night's council meeting. Encore is the biggest economic incentive package ever in the city of Tuscaloosa. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather coverage. It's free throughout the day. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Townsend Nissan. How do you stay #1 in West Alabama? You do whatever it takes to make you happy. Townsend Nissan. #1 for a reason on Skyland Boulevard.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
There's a celebration happening at Fincher & Osment Jewelers. It took 120 years to get here, and today, through May 24th, you get half off, half the store. Maybe we're a little giddy, but hey, not many businesses around town saw the Teddy Roosevelt administration. 120 years of celebrating love in Tuscaloosa. And today, half off, half the store.
I'm your jeweler, Tom Osment. Hard, but not impossible to find on McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Route.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code SUPPORT or text SUPPORT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text SUPPORT to 511-511. Morning Kick.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama Sports. Your show, your team. on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Max Sports, as we get ready to go into our weekly catch-up with Scotty Hollins. It's presented by Harvest Church. It's the Christian moment of the week. Good morning, Scotty. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How about you, Martin?
Doing well, doing well. I'm glad to have you on. So we'll kick things off and toss it to you as we continue to move forward in our new series. I'll toss it to you, Scotty, to help us incorporate our faith into the boardroom classroom where our chosen fill the place, sir.
Sounds good. Our new series is, here's our hashtag, Friends Who Love Like This. Again, Friends Who Love Like This. And so our teaching passage, and this is kind of be our foundational passage that we'll kind of refer back to, because this is the example, this is the picture of that this is the standard, if you will, and we're looking for friends who love like this. So, like what? Okay, John 15:13, Jesus says, "Greater love has no one than this, that you lay down your life for your friend." All right, and so I'm gonna give you this the quick summation. I have to do this weekly for people who are just joining us for that week. Essentially, Jesus says, the greatest expression of love is laying down your life for your friend. If you lay down your life for your friend, that means you died and your friend lived, which means you did what was best for your friend, no matter what it cost you. And so Jesus was actually about to do that very thing. He was about to meet our greatest need by going to the cross and dying on the cross, and it cost him his life. Our greatest need was we needed a savior. It cost him his very life. And so we need friends who love like this. And so what we'll do each week with our new series is we're going to look at different examples throughout the Bible and find friends who love like this. And so the first one I'll look at is a story we've looked at before, but I have to start here, Martin. I'm sorry, man. I got to start here. It's the Good Samaritan, story of the Good Samaritan. And as you guys know, there's a guy who was left for dead on the side of the road, and three guys passed by him, right? The first guy is like, he's a priest. He passes by and looks at the guy who's been left for dead on the side of the road. He does not help. He looks, and he keeps it moving. And the second guy, a Levite, does the very same thing. The two guys that you would assume would help, don't help. And so the Samaritan was the final guy, and a lot of dynamics between who is assumed to be on the ground left for dead and the Samaritan. Won't get into that, but I'll just say this. They didn't have the best of relationships, just even from a historical standpoint. But I'll put it that way. So here's what I'll tell you. First two guys walk by, don't help. The third guy, the Samaritan, walks by, sees him, stops, gives him his attention, puts him on his donkey horse, and gets him, helps him feel like, just kind of bandages him up, takes him to the next town, checks him into a hotel, Martin, and then tells the innkeeper, hey, listen, Mr. Innkeeper, this guy right here, hey, if he, I got to do business in another town on my way back. If he has incurred a tab, let him run up a tab. If he's incurred a tab, I'll pay that too. Martin, he didn't know the guy. I need a friend who loves like that. I got friends who love like that. Martin, you're a friend who loves like that to me. But here's what I'll tell you. We all need friends who love like this. Martin Luther King Jr. says this about this story. He says the first two guys asked this question, and this is why they chose not to help. They said, if I help this guy, what's going to happen to me? We don't need friends who love like that, Martin. If I help him, what's going to happen to me? We don't need teammates who love like that. We don't need coworkers who love like that. We don't need, church members who love like that. If I help him, what's going to happen to me? The third guy asked a fundamentally different question. Again, as I said, this is from something I've heard from Dr. King. He says the third guy asked the question, and he said that a fundamentally different question. He says, if I don't help this guy, If I don't help this guy who's left on the side of the road, left for dead, if I don't help him, what's going to happen to him? As we start this series, Friends Who Love Like This, with Jesus being our best example, I want to use this story as at least a good example. And I think that question, if I don't help him, what's going to happen to him, is a really good question for us to use as a lens, to use as kind of a prompt, if we will, for us to love like Jesus. If I don't help him, what's going to happen to him? If we're going to love like Jesus or live the gospel as it relates to our friends, our teammates, our coworkers, I think that's a good question to ask. And if we're going to, seek to do what's best for the person that we're loving, no matter what it costs us, I think that's a really good question to ask. So, Martin, I know you always want to wrap us up, so you go for it.
Hey, man, I love this story. I put on there the Good Samaritan. The priest passes him by. The Levite, which were known as the worshipers, passed him by. The Samaritan, who was a interracial person who was a mix between the Jews and the Gentiles, was hated by the Jews and the Gentiles, was the one that stopped, cared, and helped this stranger. And to me, I think about how you always think of the next man up or whatever. Be the next man up. People always look for it to be someone else, but it's usually somebody you're not expecting. When you look at that, Scotty. And so I want to encourage you guys, surprise somebody today. Stop, and I say this before every show, take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. And to me, that's the truth of this Good Samaritan story. And as you said, Scotty, everybody out there, whether it's in business, teammates, sports world, high school, they're looking for somebody that will love like this. This guy couldn't do anything to get their attention. It was based on the Samaritan's love and questions he asked himself, not based on the person in need. So be the Samaritan in somebody's story today, the Good Samaritan. Tell them where they can find you, sir.
Absolutely. You can go to www.blueprinttuscaloosa.com. You can send me a message there, and it comes straight to my email.
All right. Hey, that's Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministry. He joins us every Wednesday morning to help us carry our faith in the boardroom classroom where our chosen field to play. Thanks, Scotty. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thank you.
And as we get out of here, guys, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the program. We do it every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 a.m. Hey, go to martinhouston.org and you can click shop, and it'll take you to our great swag. As you can see, picture on the screen is our 32-ounce tumbler. Love for you to get that. Just go check it out and order. It's drop ship right to your location. We appreciate your support, both in person, on the live stream, in chat, and your support. Thanks, guys. And remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct the path. Roll Tide out there, everybody. We'll catch you on tomorrow.
It's time to come together. It's up to you. Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9.
All right. And hey, to those of you who are still on there out there, thank you so much for being a part of the program. Got some great content. Thanks to you guys that we'll be hitting on tomorrow. We'll talk about the inside offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman, Gene Vandermark from Michigan State. John Hallback wants us to talk about top 5 SEC teams. We'll see if we can get to that conversation. One of our listeners asked, can Murph adjust? And what's the biggest concerns? And Colton Ware brought up a great potential topic for tomorrow. A.J. McCarron of the 5-1 St. Louis team coming into the undefeated Birmingham team in UFL. Probably the biggest game this league has had. But since it's A.J., we'll try to work that into the conversation tomorrow and or Friday. Hey, for the Martin Houston Show, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for all your support. Thanks for all that you do to make it a fun day, fun gig. I look forward to it every day, and we'll keep it rolling right here. And always remember, you can reach out to me. You can send me direct messages on Facebook or Messenger, and I'll do my best to respond. I really, really appreciate you guys, and thanks for all that you do.